Welcome to this deep dive. Today we're getting into a really interesting devotional piece called Krishna, the Supreme God by Manish Suryawanshi.
Yeah, it's quite a direct statement of faith.
Exactly. So our mission here is really to explore how this text describes Krishna, understand those core attributes.
And why they matter from this specific perspective. It's one viewpoint, but a powerful one for understanding this strand of belief.
Okay, let's jump in then. Right at the start, it calls Krishna the Supreme Power and Supreme Lord. Pretty unambiguous.
Absolutely. It sets the stage immediately. Krishna as the ultimate authority. Everything stems from him in this view.
And then it goes on to say Krishna has no beginning and no end, exists beyond time, beyond space, even beyond science and reality.
That's hitting on transcendence. Right?
Transcendence. So what does that really signal? Being beyond.
It signals being completely unbound by the rules and limitations of our universe, Something fundamental that exists outside of or maybe underneath everything we can measure or observe.
Okay. And following that, this line, Krishna is the supreme truth, and everything else is just an illusion.
Wow. Yeah, that's a big one. It echoes the concept of Maya in some Hindu philosophies.
Maya, right, the idea that the material world isn't the final reality.
Sort of. Or at least it's seen as having a less permanent, less fundamental reality compared to the divine, which is the ultimate truth here. It makes you question perception itself.
Then the text mentions infinite qualities, infinite power, intelligence, abilities. How should we think about infinite in this context?
Well, it's trying to express limitlessness, isn't it? A being without any constraints at all. It's using the biggest concept we have to describe divine capacity.
Got it. And we also see Krishna described with very active roles, the savior, you are the healer, and also the protector.
Right. These speak much more to the personal relationship aspect.
Yeah.
A divine figure who helps, who heals, who guards. It's about interaction and care.
Definitely. Now, this part I found really fascinating. It says Krishna can take any form, any size, shape, dimensions. And then it lists other major Hindu deities.
Yes. Krishna, you are Rama. Krishna, you are Shiva.
Krishna, you are Brahma. Krishna, you are Makali, Ma Durga, and so on. What's the implication there? All these deities are Krishna.
It suggests a kind of fundamental unity behind the diverse forms of the divine within Hinduism itself. Like different expressions or facets of the same core reality.
Okay, like different roles, maybe?
That's one way to think about it, yeah. Different faces of the one supreme being presented here as Krishna.
But then it goes even further. It says, Krishna, you are Jesus. Krishna, you are Allah. Krishna, you are Wahiguru. Buddha, Mahavir.
Bringing in figures from entirely different world religions.
What does that inclusion signify within this specific text's view?
Well, from this devotional standpoint, it's proposing an even more radical unity. It's suggesting that the divine essence recognized in Christianity, Islam, Sikhism, Buddhism, Jainism, that too is ultimately a manifestation of Krishna.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's quite an encompassing view.
It definitely invites reflection on potential connections or shared essences across different spiritual paths seen through this particular lens.
The text also explicitly uses terms like omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient.
Standard attributes for a supreme being, really. All present, all powerful, all knowing. Reinforces that idea of ultimate singular divinity.
And alongside that power, there's a real emphasis on compassion and mercy. Most loving and compassionate, most merciful forgiveness.
That's crucial in devotional traditions, isn't it? It shows the divine isn't just about power, but also about benevolence, love, accessibility. It offers hope.
Yeah, absolutely. Then there's the idea that the infinite universe is contained within you itself. That scale is just mind-blowing.
It really is. It collapses the distinction between creator and creation in a way. All of existence held within the divine. Immense.
And wrapping up, Krishna is called the universal law, the eternal truth. Also, incomparably beautiful, kindest, most loving and forgiving.
It brings it back to that very personal devotional quality. Beauty, kindness, forgiveness. These are deeply relational attributes.
Ending with simple expressions of love. Krishna, I love you. Thank you, Krishna, for everything.
Yeah, it grounds all the theology and personal feeling and gratitude.
So summing up, this text paints Krishna as supreme, eternal, transcendent, the ultimate truth, infinitely powerful, infinitely knowing.
But also deeply compassionate, merciful, the source of all forms of divinity, even encompassing figures from other faiths in its view.
And containing the entire universe.
Exactly. A vision of a single, ultimate reality manifesting in, well, every conceivable way.
So here's something to think about after this deep dive. What are the implications when one specific divine entity is viewed not just as supreme, but as the actual source and underlying reality of all spiritual traditions, the unifying principle behind such diverse beliefs? What does that perspective offer for how we might understand different faiths?
Hmm. There's definitely something to ponder.